Hi everyone, so today's video is going to be a video all about what it's like to be disabled on booktube. Basically just, a video about me, talking what it's been like the past couple of months and how my experience being a booktuber might be a bit different than able-bodied booktubers. So yeah, if you're like an able-bodied booktuber and you want to kind of know what it's like from my perspective, obviously I'm not every single disabled booktuber, but yeah, if you want to know what it has been like for me and maybe watch me answer some questions that people asked me on Instagram about what it's been like, then continue watching, I guess. Now, before I get into like my whole rant, I'm actually filming this kind of like after my whole rant about what it's like to be disabled on booktube, but I completely forgot to introduce myself. And I feel like if this is your first video, you're going to be very confused. So I'm going to do that now. Yeah, hi, welcome to my booktube channel. If this is your first time here, I have multiple learning disorders. I am autistic and I have undiagnosed health issues. So yeah, if you hear me talk about like how difficult it is to walk, it's because I use a cane to walk mainly. Because it's really painful to walk. So yeah, let me just cut to the clip of me starting to rant. So I have been doing booktube for a couple months now. I have kind of always wanted to start a YouTube channel, but I was always too like nervous and scared about it. And I am really glad that I did it and that I made a YouTube channel and then I started making videos. But it has been just as difficult as I expected it would be. Now, because I don't go to school anymore or I don't have a job, I feel like people would think like, oh, you have all the time in the world to make videos and edit them and do lots of things with your YouTube channel. But that's not true, because I feel like a lot of people see disabled people who can't go to school or go to work and kind of just think that we're taking like one big vacation and it's just like all fun and just us relaxing all the time. That's not what it's like. I spend a lot of time just in my room with like ice packs all over my body because my pain is too bad. So most of the time when I want to film, I kind of have to like mentally and physically prepare myself for it. I have talked about this like on social media, not really on YouTube itself, how obviously other like booktubers obviously prepare for their videos as well, like obviously, but as a disabled person, like I kind of have to prepare even more because I also kind of have to physically prepare my body to film. So in the days leading up to filming, I can't really do a lot. For example, like I can't like clean my room like 2 days before I film, because like then I won't be able to film 2 days later because my pain will be too bad. So yeah, like a lot of like preparation goes into like making these videos. For example, yesterday I again talked about this on social media. Somehow I managed to pull like 17,000 muscles yesterday by not doing anything, and so I could barely walk, even less than I normally can because I use a cane. Also, like washing my hair is really difficult, which I'm sure like the camera doesn't even come close to picking up just how long my hair is, but it reaches like to like my thighs. Like it's very long and I like it like that, but it's so difficult to manage. And like washing takes such a long time and it like breaks my back to wash it. So yeah, I love my long hair, but I also like don't love it at the same time. It's a very complicated relationship. Like I said, obviously other like non-disabled booktubers, they also prepare for their videos. But I feel like as a disabled booktuber, you have to prepare even more. Because like I said, you also have to not only mentally prepare yourself, but like physically prepare yourself to film. And sometimes that just doesn't work out. Like I've had days where I want to film and I wake up and I'm in too much pain and I know I can't, which really sucks because I'll have to put so much effort into making sure that I'm ready to film, you know, grabbing everything already so that it's ready for the next day, washing my hair, which again takes so long, and it's quite painful. And then not being able to film the next day, like that really just completely ruins my mood for like the entire week, because it makes me like disappointed like in myself, which I shouldn't be, because like I don't have control over what my body chooses to do. But still, it makes me like really disappointed in myself, and I'm trying to work on that, but it's a work in progress. So yeah, I feel like I'm now gonna get into the questions that I was asked on Instagram about what it's been like to be disabled and chronically ill on booktube, because I feel like if I keep ranting, it's gonna get like really boring. So yeah, let's just get into the first question. So the first question that I got is by someone who asked me a lot of questions actually, which I really appreciate that, because I thought that I wouldn't get any questions at all. And then this video would just be me ranting for 20 minutes straight. So yeah, thank you to this person. I forgot her name again, because I'm really bad with names. But yeah, thank you for asking so many questions. The first question that she asked was, how have your disabilities affected the way that you make videos? So obviously I kind of already like answered this in my whole rant, but basically it takes me a very long time to prepare for videos, and obviously filming as well takes either a very long time or a very short time, depending on either like my brain fog from my like learning disorders or my autism. Because of that, I can kind of not know what to say, and then I stutter a lot, and I have a lot of blank spaces in my footage. And because of that, a video that will end up being like 10 minutes took like 40 minutes to film, because there's so many blank spaces. And then you also have the second option where I film videos very fast because I'm in pain, which is the case today. My back really hurts from sitting upright, so I'm trying to film this as fast as I can while also still making it the video that I want it to be, because I don't want my video ideas that I have, that I spend, you know, weeks preparing for, I don't want it to be completely ruined just because I'm in pain. Like, I want to push through and make the video what I want it to be. So yeah. Also, I talked about this a little bit in the mid-year book check-in tag video that I made. I can't really do a lot of tags on this channel because of my disabilities, because a lot of them require like physical effort, and I can't really put a lot of physical effort in videos other than using my hands. Like, I can't really make the effort to like stand up and get things and walk back and forth. Like, that's not gonna end well. So yeah, obviously like a lot of tags I can't do. Also, one of my favorite videos to always watch are like bookshelf reorganization videos, or people who like get a new bookshelf and they like install it and put like books on it. Those are always like some of my favorite videos, but I can't do them myself just because like I'm not gonna be able to film myself reorganizing my bookshelf, because that video will then be filmed over like 2 weeks time, and I feel like that's gonna be a mess. So yeah, like another type of video that I really like watching are book hauls, so where people show like the books that they bought in like the last couple months. And I really want to make one because I have books that I want to show you guys, but I know it will take so much effort out of me to make a book haul because there's so many books I have to hold up, and I feel like I'm making it worse for myself by like waiting. Because I was like, okay, I'm gonna do a book haul at 30 books, and at this point I'm already at 50. And like, this is like all of the books that I bought like in the last like 7-8 months. And so I keep like putting it off because I'm like, I don't want to like put myself through that much pain. I don't want to like disappoint myself if I can't film it very well, or I have to stop in the middle of it and then film it the rest of it like another day. I don't want to like disappoint myself, but I feel like at this point I'm making it worse because the longer I wait, the more books I'm gonna buy. So yeah, like I don't really know what to do about that. So yeah, those type of videos are definitely very difficult to do with my disabilities. So I hope that that answered your first question. So let's just get into the second question that she asked, which is, do you think that being disabled has allowed you to think and talk differently about books that you read? That question was so difficult to say for some reason. I kept forgetting what the question was. So yeah, I hope I ended up saying it right in the end. If I didn't, I'm really sorry. But yeah, I feel like my disabilities have definitely affected the way I like think about books, especially books that I used to really like. Books like Everything. I talked about this in a video. I don't remember what video. I'll link it if I remember it. But I talked about this book, about the fact that I liked it when I was younger. And if I reread it now, I would not like it because of the disability representation. So yeah, I feel like obviously like I have been disabled basically my whole life, but I didn't really know it until like a couple years ago. Basically, I got diagnosed with all of my learning disorders and my autism like very late in life. And when I say late in life, I obviously don't mean like 50, like I'm currently like 22. So obviously I don't mean 50 years old, because I know that usually when people say they got diagnosed later in life, they mean like they were like 40, 50. For me, I mean like late in life for me. Like I was showing symptoms basically at a very young age and nobody really took me serious. So yeah, like I have always been disabled, I just didn't know it yet. So back then I didn't really pay attention that much to disability representation, but now I obviously do. I noticed that like a lot of books that have a lot of like representation for other people don't really have disability representation, which makes me quite sad because I feel like disabled people are often like forgotten about, which obviously as a disabled person makes me sad. But yeah, so like because of my disabilities, I basically notice like a lack of representation in a lot of books. I notice like ableism in books that I wouldn't have noticed otherwise, I think. So yeah, I think that answers the question. Again, I keep forgetting what the question is for some reason. But yeah, I hope that answered the question. The third question that she asked was, did any other disabled creators inspire you to start your YouTube channel? And the answer to that is yes, obviously. I was very nervous about creating a YouTube channel because I feel like I didn't really see like a lot of disabled booktubers, and so I was very nervous about it, especially because I knew that I wanted to do booktube with a face mask on, and I haven't really seen anyone else do that, which made me very nervous, obviously. But I'm doing this to like make me less nervous. So at the same time that it makes me nervous, it also makes me less nervous. So I feel like it kind of cancels each other out. But yeah, the creators that like inspired me to create a YouTube channel were people like Jessica, which I'm not gonna pronounce her whole name. I'm just not even gonna try. It's too difficult. I'm sure that she would be okay with me not butchering her name completely. But yeah, people like her and people like Crazy Book Lady, they actually made a video about what it's like to be chronically ill on YouTube. And that video kind of made me less scared of doing it because I was like, well, if they can do it, so can I. So I'm not really like alone in this. So yeah, that's also the reason why I make this video, because I thought, their video really helped me, so maybe I can help like other people as well. So yeah, those people kind of like inspired me. I'm sure there's also like a lot of other people, but those are like the main people that I can think of when I wrote all of this down. So yeah. Then the next question that the same person asked was, what advice would you give to disabled people who want to start a YouTube channel? And to that, I'm just gonna say, don't do what I did in the beginning, even though technically I'm still in the beginning of me doing YouTube, but I mean like the very beginning, like my first video, where I mentioned that I wouldn't be able to make like videos every single week because of my disabilities, and how I would kind of try it to see if I could do it. And basically, don't do that. Like, don't force yourself to film more than you can. Like, I stopped doing that completely because there's no point in like forcing yourself to film if your body's not allowing you to, which I still sometimes do that. I'm kind of doing it today. Like, I'm forcing myself to continue filming even though my back pain is getting worse by the second. But like, I'm still learning. Obviously, I haven't been on YouTube for that long. I have only been here for like a couple months, so I'm still learning. So yeah, just don't push yourself too hard. Listen to your body, unlike me right now, and try to make yourself as comfortable as you can, because I know that a lot of like booktubers film in front of their bookshelves. I can't do that because that will make me in even more pain than I am right now. So I chose to like film here on my bed, which I know that's like a little bit strange, but yeah, I'm making myself as comfortable as I can, especially as well with the face mask. So yeah, that's another tip, I guess. Make yourself as comfortable as you can, and you know, just have fun with it, I guess, as much as you can. I know that me saying that is kind of hypocritical considering I'm very depressed and I have been depressed for years. So I don't really know what having fun means, but you know, just try your best, I guess. Yeah, I hope that was good advice. I don't know. I never give advice to anyone. So yeah. Then the next question is from someone else that I got on Instagram. So again, thank you for asking questions. You're making this video a lot easier to make. And that question is, do you experience chronic pain? And if yes, have you experienced it your whole life, or did it start at a certain age? Now, I have already mentioned this a couple times this video, I think, that I do experience chronic pain. And I kind of have always had it, but I used to think that it was normal, because, you know, nobody told me that having pain while you sat in a chair was not normal. Nobody really told me that until I was older and I started going to university. That's kind of when I started realizing that like a lot of the things that I was feeling were not really considered normal. Like, not everyone has pain whenever they walk, and not everyone has trouble walking up staircases or gets bruises from sitting in a chair for like 10 minutes without a cushion. So yeah, it was only when I started going to university that I kind of realized that my pain wasn't considered normal. I started kind of trying to make myself more comfortable by bringing a cushion to school and like putting it in my backpack, and that caused me a lot of grief doing that. Yeah, like I was bullied like all throughout like high school and middle school basically as well, but I thought that university would be different. But then, you know, a couple months in, I didn't really have any friends, and then I started bringing a cushion to class and like trying to hide the fact that I was bringing a cushion, but that wasn't really that easy. But yeah, because I started doing that, people kind of like started like not really bullying me, but like just making like snide comments towards me. So yeah, that wasn't fun, but at least I was more comfortable, right? But yeah, it was basically also in university that I started having a lot of health problems. Like, I tried to make myself as comfortable as I could by listening more to my body and what it needed. But that wasn't enough because my body was still, getting worse. So I started experiencing a lot more pain, and I started losing like function in some areas of my body. And what I mean by that is I lost feeling in like this hand for quite a couple months. I still don't have my full feeling back in this hand, but yeah, I lost feeling in this hand for a while, and this is my writing hand, so I couldn't really write things down very well, and the teachers did not like that. Like, they all thought that I was faking it, because I didn't really have like a doctor's note stating what I had. Like, doctors were just like, yeah, she doesn't feel her hand. We don't know what it is. And so teachers wouldn't really take that serious. So exam season was interesting. Basically, to answer your question, I have experienced chronic pain my whole life, but it was less bad when I was young, and I didn't really realize it was chronic pain. I just thought that everyone had it. So yeah, I hope that answered your question. I feel like I went on a bit of a tangent, but I hope it still answered your question. Then the next question is a question that when I read it, I was like, first of all, that's a very good question. But second of all, that's a very painful question. Not because they were trying to like hurt me. That's not the case at all. But just because you know the answer to it and you know what the answer is, but you don't want to like admit it to yourself. So yeah, that question is, do you feel like your disabilities have impacted whether people subscribe to you? So obviously, like I already said, difficult question, but the answer is quite obvious. Yes, I feel like it has impacted whether people subscribe or not. I feel like, growing up as someone who wasn't really visibly disabled, but was very visibly different from everyone else, especially because of my autism. Even though I wasn't diagnosed until I was out of school already, still I feel like, growing up like that, I very much know that people treat you different because you act different than everyone else, because you are different from everyone else. I feel like it has impacted whether people subscribe or not. What has also impacted whether people subscribe to me or not is the fact that I wear a face mask for my own comfort, because I feel like it might feel impersonal to people, like they can't really fully connect with me because they have to see your facial expressions. But I've mentioned this before, like I'm doing this for my own comfort, not just because I'm very insecure, but also because I've always been told that my facial expressions are not like correct for the emotion that I'm feeling. And that's obviously, my autism, but I wasn't diagnosed back then. So being told that my facial expressions were wrong in a way made me feel like very insecure about people seeing my facial expressions. So yeah, I definitely think that like my disabilities have affected whether people subscribe to me or not. I don't know yet whether that's in a good way or a bad way, because I feel like a lot of times when like I look up like YouTubers, not only booktubers but YouTubers as well, just in general, when they talk about like medical stuff, I feel like they always get more views because people really like that kind of stuff. So I feel like in a way it can impact your channel and like your subscribers in like a good way because people are invested in like your health. But I feel like that's like a very difficult thing to like talk about, because I feel like it's very much dependent on like a lot of things, like your race or whether you're considered like conventionally attractive, stuff like that. Like, it's a very difficult subject to talk about, I feel like. But I think it can definitely like affect your subscribers in a good way, that you actually gain subscribers because you talk about your disabilities. I don't know how I feel about that. about people just subscribing to watch you talk about your disabilities, but then they don't like it when you talk about anything else. I don't really know how to feel about that, especially if it's like abled people subscribing to you for that. Like I've been saying this entire time, it's a very difficult subject to talk about because it has to do with so many things. But yeah, main point of this entire rant, I feel like this whole video is just me ranting, but I guess I'm just in a ranty mood. But yeah, point is, I think my disabilities have affected whether people subscribe to me or not. For now, I think it's in a bad way, just because I feel like because of the face mask, which is technically because of my disabilities. So yeah, maybe someday it will be in a good way, but then like I already said, is it really a good way when people just subscribe because you talk about your disabilities and they don't like you talking about anything else? I don't know. I'm giving myself a headache by talking about this stuff, so I'm just gonna stop talking about it. Next question. The next question is actually the last question that people asked me, which is, what do you do to distract yourself from any pain? And for me, that's more obviously like things like pain medication, cold packs, or like warm packs. I don't know what else you call those things in English, but things that basically like cool areas down and warm areas up, basically. And as well, things like music and reading fan fiction. And I say specifically reading fan fiction because when my pain is very bad to the point that I need pain medication and cold packs and stuff like that, I can't read like a book because it takes too much out of me to like collect new information. And fan fiction is based on things that I already know. So I don't really have any new information to deal with. I already know everything. So yeah, if I'm having a really bad pain day, I can't really read any like books other than like fan fiction because I just don't have like the spoons for it. Which, in case you're like, why did you just say the word spoons? There's this thing called the spoon theory, which I'll put it here if I can find like a screenshot. It's basically like you have basically like a certain set of spoons and certain activities take up so many spoons. For example, some days you can start with like 10 spoons, but if you're having a really bad pain day, you only have like 3, and then you have to, divide them in a way that you can still do the things you need to do. Yeah, if I'm having like a really bad pain day and I want to read a book, like reading an actual physical book, holding it in my hands, concentrating, that can be like 2 spoons. And on a good health day, that's fine. I still have like 8 left if I started with 10. But if I'm having a bad pain day, I only have 1 spoon left. And then I have to choose, like, do I want to eat? Do I want to like drink something today? Do I want to get up? I feel like I'm explaining this in a way that people won't understand, but I hope that with like screenshots you'll be able to understand what I mean with the spoon theory. You can also like look it up. It's very interesting actually. But yeah, I hope I explained it as well as I could. So yeah, those were all of the questions that I was asked on Instagram. Maybe I will do another video like this another time if you guys actually like this video. Which is basically just me ranting about, being disabled and chronically ill for like, I don't know how long this is gonna be, like 20 minutes, hopefully not 30. But yeah, I basically didn't talk about books at all in this video, which is strange considering this is a booktube channel. I hope that you still enjoyed this video, even if it wasn't really about books. If you're just, watching this channel for like book recommendations, I hope you didn't mind this video. I hope I didn't bore too many people with this video because I feel like I was ranting a lot just because I guess I'm in a ranty mood and I don't really have anyone else to rant to other than you guys. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that you got some information from it, I guess. If you have like more questions, ask them in the comments, I guess, and I'll see if I'll answer them in like another video, or if I'll just answer them in the comments. So yeah, I'm gonna end this video here because I'm all out of energy to rant, and I feel like I'm still quite proud of myself for making this video because I feel like I was very passionate in it. I think that's good to be passionate in videos. Yeah, I didn't expect myself to like rant that much, but I guess I did for some reason. So yeah, I hope that you didn't mind that too much. So yeah, I'm now gonna stop this video and relax because my back is really killing me. And bye, I guess. Thank you for watching. Bye.